morning, good evening, or happy lunch, no matter where you're watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. I've got my my crab festival shirt on because it appears as though we've got a crab market here, guys. We seem to be in the crab market on Bitcoin right now, going sideways, and I don't think that there's a ton of reason why that's going to stop anytime soon. We've got a lot of stories here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit why we're in a crab market. We're going to take a look at the charts, and we're going to have some of the stories that we're going to talk about today are a little bit confusing, a little bit troubling, that have to do with Ethereum. But we're going to get through it. We're going to have a lot of fun. So taking a look here first at Bitcoin here on the daily, it, as you can see, has now come back inside the Bollinger Band, the top band of the Bollinger Bands here on the daily chart, and has started the crab market. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the crab market means that it's just trading sideways, right? You've got the bull market up, you got the bear market down, and you've got the crab market sideways. So that's where we are. And if you're new to crypto, then you're hearing this for the first time, talking about the crab market. That's what it is. You're welcome. You got your little education dose this morning. I love it. All right. Well, drilling down into the 4 hour, let's see what kind of action we've had over the last few hours. We've had some ups and downs, ranging mostly between here 34,800 and 33,500. So getting a nice little move here up and down. Traders are happy because these are nice, easy, predictable ranges. Now you can catch some of these wicks intraday, down on the lower time scales. And it's a good time to be a trader because traders do the best in the crab market. Investors do the best in the bull market. At least that's the way I see it. Let me know if I'm wrong in the chat. And speaking of chat, let's go take a look, see what is going on. Army Piper said, "What up? How clever." I think he's referring to my use of costume here for my reference to the crab market. And yes, it is. It's a lot of fun to make little puns and have a little bit of fun here in the morning. It's a Friday. It's Friday, guys. I hope that you're doing well. No matter where you are, the weekend is tomorrow. And maybe you're somebody who works on the weekend, but that's okay. Probably have some kind of fun bartending job, I'm sure. Eric Wallen said, "I bought $5 of Amazon and it's up 5%. Woohoo! Yeah, we're going to talk about Amazon here in just a few minutes for sure. Peter Provo said, "Wasn't it the turtle market?" Yes, so it was kind of, a competition between the crab market or the turtle market. And in reality, the turtle market lost. It is the crab market. We are sideways. And it is a crab. Let's take out some other names here. Bitcoin, by the way, green on the day so far, up 0.1% now. Whereas Ethereum is down 0.5. It's, as you can see, also in the crab market, trying to get back above that midline of the Bollinger Band. You do see the red histogram starting to round back bullish, but those MACD lines all pointing downward as there's kind of some consolidation now, obviously. Tightening of the Bollinger Band's restriction, consolidation. But all that means is that eventually there'll be a move one way or the other. Now, what could happen here, and I'll just go ahead and draw this out on Ethereum, is we could go ahead and get a move, right? A move up or down, either way. Or we could continue to see the crab market. But here's the thing for the noobs, right? If you're new to crypto, you may not know this, that tightening of the Bollinger Bands, if the Bollinger Bands continue to do this, and then price just kind of stays in the middle or tests the top, whatever it is, that consolidation, the longer it's in consolidation, the higher the volatility when it breaks through the Bollinger Band. So if it broke through here, the volatility might not be that much because it hasn't consolidated for very long. But if it gets way out here and then breaks, then it could be quite a triumphant victory or quite a tragic demise. That's the story of consolidation. Guys, let's go ahead and check out some of the altcoin lists here. We've got them right here. BNB not doing too badly this morning. Honestly, leading my watch list so far. Looking pretty good. Up 2.4%. Tron also doing quite fabulous this morning. Up 1.1%. 0.17%. You've got Optimism Chain down 0.9, okay? And then AVAX down 1.9%, almost 2% there to the downside for AVAX. All right, and then got some other names. Chainlink rocking out pretty well. Now, the AI names have been having some good upside. We might be able to have some time to check those out as well. But let's take a look here at Chainlink. Chainlink doing pretty well, making a move to the upside here, bouncing off that midline of the Bollinger Band. You'll notice one thing with Chainlink on the 4-hour is that it barely even went down below that midline of the Bollinger Band. Whereas with Ethereum, as you can see, has spent a decent amount of time down there below it, printing 2 candles. So it's interesting to watch, kind of the differences there. But let's go ahead and check back in on Chainlink and see what else we might be able to observe. Yep, MACD lines coming down just like on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then also you do have that rounding of the red histograms coming back, wanting to swerve back a little bit bullish here. Really too soon to call. Classic crab market indications right here. Now Chainlink, you could argue probably no, it's definitely still in a crab market. It's slowing down, right? If we went out to the daily, we could kind of make a little bit better of a determination. Yeah, so it still looks more bullish than Bitcoin, but it's back in those Bollinger Bands, right? The moment, the heat of the moment, the passions are over. The throes of passions for crypto right now and is over, right? And now we're kind of in a okay, now what phase? And who is the king of that phase? It's the crab. The crab is the king. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look here at some of the stories in crypto. The first one we're going to take a look at here is that Bitcoin and Ethereum options activity hit 20 billion. And a lot of those, I believe, expired today. So let's take a look here at some of the details. It's 20.64 billion according to Switzerland-based Levantes. The tally nearly parallels the peak registered in November 9th, 2021 when Bitcoin traded above 66,000 per coin, 90% higher than the going market rate of 34,170 where we are now in the crab market. In other words, the current open interest in contract terms is significantly higher than in November 2021. The milestone has been achieved with nearly double the number of outstanding contracts, representing not just a substantial triumph for Deribit, but also a clear indicator for the broader market growth and the escalating interest in options among our clients. This, of course, was a quotation from Chief Commercial Officer of Deribit. Deribit controls 90% of the global crypto options activity. So they're cornering the market quite a bit there. Actually something to consider in terms of maybe not centralization, but adoption there. It's good for adoption of futures contracts. And it's good for Deribit. You know, is it potentially have some negative outcomes for others? Yeah, you know, negative outcome for competition. They could definitely control the market if they really wanted to. Not for very long, but they could control a move here or there with 90%. Now, when I say Deribit is just an exchange, right? They don't have any. It's not like they're the ones who own the 90% of the paper that's going back and forth, right? So you do have to consider that. It's not like they have the agency here. But if the folks on that agency, on that exchange, were able to conspire together, right, then they might have some chance at manipulating the price. But the reality is, guys, is that humans can't get along about much, right? It's going to be very difficult for a group of traders to try to manipulate on that scale. All right, moving right along, though. I wanted to give a brief moment for our noobs, right? For folks who maybe are just watching YouTube crypto for the first, second, third, or fourth, fifth time, right? But you still you're not sold on crypto, and I get it. I was there. It took me like 2 years before I really gave crypto the time of day. I don't have like an engineering or thermodynamic background or anything like that. I'm not a developer, right? I kind of came into crypto through understanding trading. I was really big into stocks, really big into trading stocks and understanding the stock market and just understanding markets in general. I love that kind of stuff. I still do. I also kind of came into it through like libertarian ideology, looking at it in that way. Thinking about, oh wow, Bitcoin has can really produce a lot of freedom here. And we can potentially have some alternatives to the failing U.S. dollar, right? The failing fiat currency. And so I was checking all that out, looking into that, and eventually I was convinced. I actually traded Bitcoin first, just because it was a nice volatile asset. I think that's how a lot of people get hooked as well. But I wanted to take a moment for the noobs and just kind of go over some of the exchanges that are out there for you to buy crypto on. You've got Coinbase, right? Coinbase is going to be kind of far and away the most secure, the most adopted, and the most popular. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have its shortcomings. There's kind of a meme around that they do have difficulties withdrawing sometimes. Not officially. It's not like they come out and say we're going to stop withdrawals. It's just that a lot of people report, I can't withdraw a certain coin, right? I can't send it, or I can't withdraw my dollars right now. There seems to be some restrictions at random times for Coinbase. That's anecdotal, right? Not necessarily something you hear all the time. Then you've got I can't do Robinhood next. Look too biased. Got Binance, got eToro. You got Coinbase Pro, which is the paid version of Coinbase. You can do a lot more with it. And then you got Cash App, OKX, and Stash. Now, I go by Cash App pretty quickly, and I shouldn't. Because here's the thing. With Cash App, this may be one of the... there's a lot of organizations out there that are trying to on-ramp the next million users for crypto, right? And the next billion users for crypto. Cash App and Venmo may be the ones that do this, right? Because they're already in your pocket. They're already in the pocket of the suburban housewife. They're already in the pocket of the 18-year-old skater punk. They're already in the pocket of the common person, okay, who has no business knowing or thinking about this emerging Wild West industry we know and love as crypto, even if it's in a crab market, right? So you have to give a little bit of a shout out to the Cash App, even though they have some outrageous fees. You can still stack sats on Cash App, okay? All right, now taking a look a little bit deeper here, you have all kinds of Coinbase Wallet. You can see Coinbase has built out quite an offering. One thing that's unique about Coinbase as well is that they are a publicly traded company in the United States. Okay, so compliance is key there. Now, if you are new, then you're going to have a rude awakening to see that the biggest financial regulatory bodies in the United States, in North America, really, are coming for the throats of the bigger names in crypto. And that's just, that may just be the symptom of the fact that it's a Wild West industry, and regulators need to think that they need to get their hands around the neck of it, right? So just be aware of that there's a lot of regulatory heart attacks that kind of leap on you if you are in crypto long enough. You've also got Uphold, and then you've got Robinhood. All of these that I've read are pretty decent options. Now, Binance, there's FUD on them every week. So if you are particularly given to worry and fear, and you'd rather not have that, I'd say Coinbase, Robinhood, Uphold, decent options. The guys, there's a lot on this list that you probably use that are not on this list, right? So if there is one on this list that I didn't mention, let me know in the chat, and we can cover that in the future. But let's keep marching here through the news. I wanted to take a moment for the noobs because of this next story. Buy Bitcoin search queries on Google surge 826% in the UK. Of course, we might expect something similar here in the United States, in North America. Okay, let's take a look here at some of these statistics. According to research from Crypto Gambling TV, okay, the search term buy Bitcoin spiked a staggering 826% in the UK over the course of 7 days. Of course, there's more than likely a strong correlation with the increase of price of Bitcoin. Thus why now you see why I have covered these different apps, guys. And also, let me point out, the most important point is that if you try to sign up for a crypto exchange, right, there's a lot of scams out there. So the reason that I brought these names up is because all the ones that I listed are legit. Binance, they're in they're kind of in that mid-gray area, especially for Americans. You may want to consider some of the other ones, but I would still say it is legit, right? All of those are legit. eToro, we almost never talk about that. You don't hear about that in the crypto community very much. It's not ultra popular, at least in the community, the sub-community that I'm in. right? But I bring all this up because there's going to be a lot of noobs coming into crypto. And as you guys who aren't noobs, you know who I'm talking about, are in Discords, are in YouTube chats like this one, or are in the comments of YouTube, whatever, Instagram, x.com, wherever you are, lend a hand to the noobs. If someone's asking about a wallet, don't just scroll by, send them a link to Coinbase. You know what to do, right? If they don't want to use Coinbase, they want to use the other one, that's fine, right? But if someone's saying that they're using some kind of, cryptogamblingtv.com app, right? I have no idea what Crypto Gambling TV is, but they're the ones that are bringing us this article today about the spike in search volume for the key terms buy Bitcoin. So, if it has some kind of weird, Moon Boy type of name on the app, I would run for the hills and come back to this video and look at the ones that I just covered and said, right? Are there more legitimate ones? Absolutely. There's a lot of other ones that are also as legitimate. I didn't even name any of the major trading exchanges in that, right? You've got MEXC, you've got BitGet, you've got a lot. Now, some of those are becoming more restrictive for Americans, but that's a whole nother issue. You're not going to go wrong with Coinbase, guys. Coinbase is kind of the one. All right, let's keep going, though, here, because we do have kind of a pessimistic tone here. We're going to start with an optimistic tone. We'll get a little bit more pessimistic. Ethereum. Dencun, let me know how in the comments, if you can, speak into the comments and let me know, how do you pronounce this? Is it Dencun? I'm going to say Dencun. Upgrade is a step towards a scalable settlement layer, says Goldman Sachs. All right, let's see what Goldman Sachs has to say. Dencun's primary impact will be to increase its data availability for layer 2 rollups via proto-dank sharding, resulting in a reduction of rollup transaction costs, which will be passed on to the end users. So you're still going to be paying fees, but it looks like the data availability for layer 2s are going to be more plentiful. Well, Goldman Sachs seems to think that this is pretty cool. Dencun will enhance Ethereum scalability via rollups and will optimize gas fees and improve the network's security and implement a number of housekeeping updates, the report added. So you'd think this is somewhat routine, somewhat normal. Well, the reality is, though, is that according to UnchainedCrypto.com, Ethereum devs not ready to fork the mainnet in 2023. Okay, and what you'll notice is that in the defense of CoinDesk here, they do mention that Ethereum's Dencun upgrade likely to take place in the first quarter of 2024. Okay, so, but the optimistic note here is that Goldman Sachs is making a comment on the scalability layer and potential of Ethereum there. So, but not so fast, says the Ethereum devs. In an all-core developers call on Thursday, consensus layer client team said that they did not feel comfortable forking the Gorelli on the mainnet because of the varying levels of work still required. This includes deeper changes in the code base from the Ethereum client Prism, which runs 45% of the consensus layer clients. Okay, so as you can see here, there's some concern that moving ahead with this hard fork may be a mistake. I said hard fork, it just says fork. So overall, guys, this is par for the course for Ethereum. If you're new, there's always some kind of update on the horizon for a lot of these altcoins. Ethereum, as king of the altcoins, has some kind of upgrade on the horizon. And is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Right? This shouldn't be a deterrent from you buying crypto. That's the first thing I'll say. This shouldn't be a deterrent for that. This also, shouldn't be something that really, really concerns you. What really should concern you is that the fees are still pretty high on Ethereum, right? Despite all the upgrades, despite everything that's gone on, the fees are still pretty high. And that's where there are alternatives to Ethereum. That's why there is Solana. That's why there's Cardano. On down the line, right? AVAX, Injective. There's so many. There's so many to name. Hedera, right? There's so many. So that is going to be something to watch, though. Will this fork called Dencun, which I'm almost 100% sure I'm mispronouncing, but will Dencun go through? Will the folks over at Goldman Sachs be satiated in their estimation, in their projection for what this is going to do for scalability for the settlement layer of Ethereum. We will have to see. Looks like we're going to get that answer at least in the Q1 of 2024, according to CoinDesk. But if the track record of Ethereum is any indication, it's probably not going to happen on schedule. Let me know in the chat if you agree, if you disagree. Army Piper says, teaser warning, 45,000 Bitcoin inbound. Today's topic for Bitcoin for Piper Academy. Yes, Piper's Academy is a friend of the show. They go live, Piper goes live at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So about 8 minutes from now, Piper will be going live, and he's going to be diving much deeper into these charts here. Maybe the Chainlink chart, probably the Bitcoin chart, as he's now calling for a $45,000 Bitcoin. Let's see kind of where that would put us here if we were to go up to $45,000 per Bitcoin. And it would be about 32% upside from here. So from where we are now to 45,000, it'd be about 32% upside. Not bad. Now, I feel like we need to have a retest before we go that high. So I'm interested to see what Piper is going to say on his show. I think more than likely we need to have a retest down here to at least 32, right? Or more than likely probably somewhere back down here, kind of in the meat and the potatoes of a lot of this trading up and down, probably more like 29, 30, right? But here's the thing with crypto right now is that it's hot, right? We saw from this headline right here, and let me just make a distinction because this is all about the Crab Festival, right? The price movement is not hot today, right? But Bitcoin is hot right now, as evidenced by this article, by Bitcoin search inquiries surge by an astronomical amount here. Astronomical. 826%. Now that's quite a bit, right? And what's going on here? Well, what's going on is that people are talking. People love to talk. People love to call their nephew and say, hey, what's going on, buddy? You got a girlfriend yet? And then he says, no, I've been trading crypto. And you say, oh, well, how's that going? Oh, it's been going good. I made $100,000 last week. And then you immediately, hear the dial tone as he hangs up and he immediately searches on Google how to buy Bitcoin, right? And then he's among that 83,000% increase or whatever, right? That's what's hot, right? Bitcoin is hot. So why do I bring that up? Well, because more than likely, wherever we might draw levels of support that need to go back and get retested, in times like these, there's an argument for it not going down to those levels because there's too many buyers in the market. There's retail buyers who are just very, they're super new and they don't understand levels. They don't understand trying to get it as low as they can. And hey, I'm sure I have definitely been someone who has not tried every single time to get the very bottom of the wick, right, that I possibly can. I think most people are not trying to get the very lowest possible price that they can, right? They're just seeing Bitcoin. Oh, wow, this is big. My nephew's making a bunch of money on it, and, it seems legit to me. There's a couple people that I respect, a couple of banks and institutions that I respect. Larry Fink said this, right? Robert Kiyosaki said that. These bullish things about crypto. All of that kind of translates into buying before it gets to the support, right? So I'm really interested to see what Piper's going to talk about today. I know that Tim did his TA already at 8:30. And as I was prepping for this video, I did not get time to watch that. So I'm going to absolutely check that out as well. It is more than likely, if you just click back on Investing Bros, where we are now, if you just click back on our channel, you'll be able to go watch you'll be able to watch his TA video. And that was it, the one I clicked on. So that's what it is. You'll be able to watch that. All right, so that's really it. I think I might end this one a little bit early today, guys. Let's go through the chat before I do. David Williams said, thoughts on a lot of people saying Max Payne is continuing going up and sidelining everyone waiting for pullback. Max Payne is continuing going up. Like meaning the potential for more downside is increasing? It's possible. Yeah, guys, go ahead and smash that like as Gia S is saying. Eric said it's Dencun. I don't know if he's mocking me or if he's actually trying to be helpful, probably mocking. But it is mockable. It is a mockable thing because I don't know how to pronounce that. And then Piper makes a good point. Everyone thought Voyager, Celsius, and FTX were legit at one time. Right, that's true. And I did have a little bit of an infographic here to bring you guys about custodial versus non-custodial wallets. And that's how we'll probably wrap up this show. Custodial versus non-custodial. So all of these that I showed you, not all of them, they are either custodial or non-custodial, right? So you want to be educated. You want to do your own research on what you're getting yourself into. But there is a significant difference here. The thing that is the same is that you're going to have exposure to the price action of Bitcoin. That's what you're going to get regardless of if you go custodial or non-custodial. But custodial, we'll start with that, is a private key custody. Custodial wallets hold and administer your private key for you, okay? So that means that you are not the ones that hold your key, and there is there is a mantra in crypto, not your keys, not your crypto, right? Everybody knows it. Everybody says it. And it's true. Okay? In the names that Piper listed here, Voyager, Celsius, and FTX, you did not own your keys. And now those people who had their money in those platforms do not own their crypto, unfortunately. And they're in, all kinds of legal proceedings to try to get it back. But the reality is they're not going to get 100 cents on their dollar back from that. That's just not how it's going to go because they, ultimately the way that these legal contracts were that they were entering into just by hitting the terms of agreement button, right, is that they were in some way kind of going in on these assets. They were going in on the risk of these assets together with these platforms. That's kind of what you're doing with custodial, right? But it's easier. It's easier. That's the upside. Why would anybody do something that's worse? Because it's easier. Why do you go to CVS instead of Sam's Club where things are cheaper? Because it's easier. It's right on the corner. You don't have to drive all the way across town to Sam's Club. Okay, things are easier. You pay for convenience. And sometimes you pay very severely by having all of your money ripped away from you in the case of Celsius, FTX, and others. KYC, boring KYC, know your customer, and AML procedures. With non-custody, there is no KYC. I think we'll save that for another time. But noobs, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Consider subscribing. And I am T. Shroom, and I'm going to go ahead and end it out, guys. But it's been a real pleasure to have you all on. Marcus Sadiq said, "Thanks, bros, for today's news." Army Piper said, "I am the official first sergeant of the Link Marines." And that is something that he said. I don't know, but that is something that you said. David Williams said, "Thoughts on a lot of people making Max Payne continuing to go up, sidelining everyone waiting for a pullback." Yes. And this is basically an argument for buy now, right? Buy the crab market. Because, look, let's go back to the charts really quickly before I leave. There is a good chance, right, that in all of this... Now, this isn't going to come from just retail. This isn't going to come from retail going, "Oh, my nephew made a bunch of money, I'm going to buy in," right? That's not yet. We still got to go through the halving. We've still got a ways to go before we're going to have the retail come in, right? But there is some, right? And that's why I say sometimes we won't hit those levels of support that make more sense. We're going to get bought before we reach those levels, right? But in the meantime, there's still an argument for some big institutions, right? Like Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, BlackRock, whatever it is, or some, group of family offices that all go to some retreat together and they get totally orange pilled, right? There could be a big chunk of money that comes in and essentially sends Bitcoin quite a bit higher. As Army Piper was saying, he thinks that there's a chance you go up to $45,000 per coin. Well, it's going to take some institutional investment in order for that to happen, right? And maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time that some, board somewhere is gathering around the boardroom and they're saying, "Hey, we don't, there's a chance Bitcoin's going to go lower from here, but we don't know. We need to get while the getting's good." And this could be the last time that you'll ever be able to buy sub 35 today, right? Now, this might sound like financial advice. It's not. All I'm saying is what could happen, right? What could happen, but that is all that you should be concerned about. Like what could happen and how you should position your portfolio in your unique risk profile and doing your research. Eric Wallen said, LOL. Bedridden said, do it. Piper, haha. Army Piper said, I'm going to hit live. Yes. Oh, it is 9:31. So go ahead, Piper. Hit live. Go live, and we're going to have some fun. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. We are live every day at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow, Saturday, we will be going live at 11 p.m. And every morning, we go live at 9 a.m. And we also release a TA video at 8:30 a.m. So there's a lot of times that we are producing content for you guys, and we have a lot of fun doing it. Have a great rest of your day, night, lunch, whatever you're doing, whenever you're watching. Have a good one.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.